If you think Applebee's is bad, you should try Asshole Bees. Much more uncomfortable. Just spreading facts. Here on Thursday, April the 4th. I have napped, of course. Always with the naps. Actually, I got home and I'm gonna go ahead and yawn anyway. Why not? Fuck it. I just kind of like... I don't know, I guess maybe that's my, not depression mode, maybe depression mode, depressing, is it, am I saying the same thing? No, because what did I say, like, I need some downtime, like I need a vacation from my vacation, like I come home from work, and I need time to depress? I feel like I'm not saying that correctly. It might be depression, who knows. I feel like there's another word I'm trying to say, and I'm not saying it. Decompress. It's so similar, So I just like lay in bed and like play my casino games. Of course, Minxie loves it, because she just gets up there and she like curls up next to me, or, you know. A lot of times I just prop my pillow up against the wall and just sit there and play the casino games or watch the casino game go. Just kind of, you know, sit. It does sound like depression. Sit in my dark room. In silence, just in the quiet, and just kind of enjoy, like, not, I guess, just kind of decompress, I suppose. Just kind of sit in the silence for a while, you know, just, I don't know, sometimes I have the phone on mute, but other times I'll have it, like, turned up, so just a little bit, so I can hear the game sounds and whatnot, or whatever. I do have a new game, where you save kitties. It's called Cats in Time, and, yeah, I've been enjoying that one. You have to, like, solve puzzles and save the cats, and then there's a bunch of different weird stuff you can do, like, it's kind of like Zelda. You can go through and break the, you know, I think you get an achievement for doing that too, if you go through and break the jars and stuff, or you can like knock a sign off or open the doors for no reason. The doors like will swing open if you click on them. Just weird random shit, or like knock a sign off the outside of the thing. And there's I don't know what the blue things are. There's like three little every level. There's three blue squares that you find like a piece of a puzzle or something. You just find like a hidden object, I guess, somewhere in the level. And, I don't know. But I've been enjoying trying to finish all of those. But I played Casino this morning. Goodness. I think I dozed off for a little bit for that. But other than that, I guess I've just been dicking around watching random YouTube videos. So, yeah. Pretty chillaxed around here. But I figured it was about time to answer the question for today, before I forget, which is, describe your worst overreaction. Describe my worst overreaction. I'm specifically thinking of one. This may not be the only one. With my there was a time where they were getting rid of but Tiffany wasn't IMS. My friend Tiffany at the time, all these people that they didn't know what to do with them, they put them on the mod crew with the rest of us. And I can be a very particular person. I like things to be done a certain way or whatever, and especially if I'm in the middle of my own little project, I have my idea of how things, I have an idea in my head of exactly how I'm going to accomplish the task so that I don't get confused myself. And it's one of those situations. I was moving something down, I can't remember, and then I was going to come back and I was going to get the labels and move the labels to wherever the product was. And it was one of those things where there was like 7 or 8 people on the mod crew. Like Sean, if he watches this video, at that time he was on the mod crew, I believe, even though I think he helped us with one mod and that was it. But so there was a situation where it was in crafts and fabrics, because it was all these little rolls of some kind of tool or something, or some kind of ribbon or something, and for some reason we were moving them down. So I moved them down one by one, because for whatever reason, I don't, like, we weren't really setting a mod, we were just moving it down. So we weren't setting that mod. So you had to, like, move the product down and then move the labels down, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And the problem with having, 6 or 7 people working on the same project at the same time is people don't know what's going on. People don't know that you're already in the middle of something and you already have, you're taking care of something or whatever. So I moved the ribbon down and Tiffany started grabbing the labels. And I was like, no, don't do that. I just freaked. I had like a moment of freak out, like, don't do that. And she was highly offended by that, and I tried to talk to her later and apologize for that. And, she was still offended. And she's like, well, don't you think there's, more than one way to accomplish a task? Blah, 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 blah. Which is true. She had a good point. Yes, there is. And I've had to come to that realization that, sometimes I just have to let things be and just let things slide, let things happen as they happen. Because it's like I can't control, especially like I said at the time, there was like, 6 or 7 people on the mod crew during that time, and it was like, they would put us all on the same project, and then it was like fucking chaos. Nobody knew what anyone else was doing, so somebody might interrupt your process or whatever it was that you were doing, and you just gotta water off a duck's back, as Jinx Monsoon might say, just like let it happen, just let it roll, just let it go, but of course, Tiffany was steadfast in her. And I was like, well, in the future, just don't touch my stuff, I believe is what I said to her, and then I walked away. So I don't even, and then Tiffany went to Days for a little while. Did she come back to overnights, I guess? I don't know. So it's like, I wasn't even sure we were friends for a little bit of time, but then like she came back to overnights, I think, and I don't know if she forgot what happened or what, I don't know, but we started talking again, and of course, we had our little group, our little gang that was doing excursions, especially paranormal excursions there for a little while, but that was definitely an overreaction, and it's true, and I've had to like sometimes have conferences with myself, though, now there's like, they've been having other people help with mods at the same time, like it was just Jennifer and I there for the longest time. Was it there a third person, or was there not a third person? Well, I mean, we had Angie, but after that, I think it was just Jennifer and myself that were doing mods. I mean, now they're having other people, and it's like people, like the other day with the ice cream mod, and it's like people who I don't know if they've ever done a mod before. They were having them help with it, and I'm like, I just have to get my zen. And I'm like, you know what? It helps. It helps that there was a special crew that came to overnights to do the vitamin mod. Like all the pharmacy mods, they were moving from like aisle to aisle, section to section. Like it was a major move. And there's some, it's called where you profile a shelf, where they're in the same notch, where because the product is over the line in between, the two shelves. So these shelves are supposed to be profiled so that things fit the way that they're supposed to fit. And the people who came in to do with all these little bottles of vitamins and all these other things, like, they did not have the shelves profiled, so a lot of shit was not fitting in, or they'd leave like this much, like there'd be this tight thing where you couldn't even fit in this giant, a bottle of one vitamin, and down here they'd have like an inch of extra space. And I was like, why didn't you like spread that out to where things would fit the way that they're supposed to fit, And so this special, crew came in to do those mods. We were not involved in them at all. And a lot of them were incorrect. Like, very incorrect. And store manager apparently didn't fucking care. They stayed that way until then they rolled back around the next year. And then we did them. And now they're correct. Until they're not. It's just that never-ending battle of, So I've had to and especially I feel like that moment with Tiffany where I freaked out so bad. And I even asked other people. I believe there was a guy on the mod crew at the time. His name was Matt. I'm pretty sure he's the one that I asked. There was Matt, there was Shirley, there was Sean, there was Tiffany, there was me, there was Scott, maybe. I don't know, there was like 7 or 8 people on the mod crew, because it's like the IMS program ended and they didn't know what to do with the people in the back, so they just put them on the mod crew, and it was a clusterfuck. It was a clusterfuck. Because it's one of those things where it's just kind of like, I have a particular way that I like to do things, and especially, like I said, if I'm in the middle of my own little process, I don't like it to be interrupted, but now it's kind of like, I have to just kind of have a conference with myself, and I'm like, anything that someone else does to help out helps the job get done. Even if it's done incorrectly. Oh well. Oh well. At least the job is done. That's all they care about. It doesn't have to be quality, it's quantity over quality. That's all that matters. And it's kind of like I have to remind myself of that sometimes. Because I'm pretty sure it was Matt that I asked, because he was there when that situation happened, and I was like, was I mean? I was like, was I like a total cunt or something? And he kind of said, he's like, well, it's not like you. Like total, like, hey, get your hands off that, you stupid bitch, or something like that, He's like, he was like, you just kind of, you just kind of like told her to stop, basically, and it was like, because it was like, I mean, I seem to remember being like visually frustrated, because it was kind of one of those things where a lot of that was happening all the time, and it was like, there was so much that was just out of my control, and I had to realize that it was out of my control, and I couldn't do anything about it, and it's like, anything anyone does to help this mod get done, or get this, whatever project done, is one more step that I don't have to do. If it gets done incorrectly, at least I'll know I did my part correctly, the way that it was supposed to. It's like, I've had to have that conference with myself many times. It's just kind of like, it is what it is. What's going to happen is what's going to happen. It's not going to be right, but, fuck it. Who gives a shit? You're getting paid just the same to sit here and, But then, of course, we get treated like the bad people because we're trying to do our jobs correctly, so it takes longer because we're trying to do our jobs correctly. And then they're like, oh, why didn't you get 20 mods done tonight or whatever? And it's like, because we're trying to fix shit and do it correctly? Like, Let's have standards. I don't know. Weird thing. Weird thing. But so, but since then, especially that situation, like I said, with Tiffany many years ago. This has been many years ago. Like I said, she went to days for a little while, and I think came back to overnights before she went and became a trucker. Like, I mean, this has been many moons ago, and I've just had to like reevaluate and calm myself down and just be like, just let it happen. Basically, whatever happens, just let it happen, and it'll all be over. You clock out at 7, you get paid the same, whatever, you know, like whatever. But so I actually kind of forgot the question. It was like, what was my biggest overreaction recently? Describe my worst overreaction. Like ever? My worst overreaction. I remember once, I was probably 12 or 13, so highly emotional child. It was around the era of Captain Planet, so it had to be sometime in the 90s. I was collecting all the action figures of course, as I do. Like I said, I would still do that today if they weren't $25 fucking a piece. Jesus Christ. But so it was Dr. Blight. She's somebody famous did her voice, but I can't remember. I'm pretty sure, or maybe I just always assumed because they sounded similar. But anyway, her character, because part of Dr. Blight was she had like her hair over her face because part of it was like burnt away by acid or something. But on the action figure, you could actually like move her hair and see the fucked up part of her face. Let's just be honest or whatever. And I think that might even be the section. Like my friend took a knife or something and like put a cut in my action figure. You totally couldn't see it. It totally like blended in with everything else or whatever. But it wasn't perfect anymore because he put a cut in it. And I think I snatched it back from him and I'm like, why would you do that? Or I remember saying something about, now I'm going to have to buy a whole new one. You know, and I'm like, no, you don't. Like nothing's like action figures get played with, you know, kind of thing. Like they're gonna get scratched, they're gonna get, you know, scuffed, they're gonna get dented if you play with them. Like I guess I was looking at a collector standpoint, even though I'd taken her out of the package, so it didn't matter. Like I was collecting them, you know. But I mean, I've taken some action figures out of the package. Like in college, I used to have at my apartment that I had on campus, it came with like these shelves, and it was great because I was able to like start collecting things. Like I had a whole bunch of Buffy action figures. I was slowly collecting all of those characters and adding them to the thing, and you know, the Teen Titans, I believe I was collecting those, and maybe Family Guy, I don't know. I was like adding to, you know, the characters, the collections, whatever. So I mean, I guess even though I took it out of the package, I was looking at it like a collector, and he put just a little cut that you couldn't even see. You couldn't even see it, you know, or it just blended in with all the other cuts. Because I think he might have even just put the cut in that section. I don't know, whatever it was, it didn't matter. It was just a slice, a small like imperfection or whatever, and I was like, I'm gonna have to buy a whole new one. And I was like, I never did. I think I still have that. I think I still do. Unless that's one of the things that got left over at the house when I, you know, abandoned it. I don't know. I don't actually know what got left over at the house. But, you know. So that was an overreaction from a long time ago. Those are the two main ones that I can think of at the moment. I mean, maybe if I were to think deeper, I might... I don't know what you would call the worst overreaction. I guess some people might say when I went to Royal Gorge, my grandfather and grandmother, they took my sister and I to Royal Gorge. Mom didn't go with us. I don't know why, but maybe she was like, "Take them. I'm sick of them. Take them somewhere. Take them away from me, just for a few days." I don't know how long we were on that trip to Colorado. We went out to Colorado, and I guess you could say my overreaction, like when because there was this thing going down the. I feel like I told this story recently. Once I say that a lot, but it's like I've answered so many questions. I'm on day 94, 95, something like that. So I've answered a lot of questions, and they all lead back to the same stories. But no, there was this at Royal Gorge. There was this like thing going down the mountain. And I was freaking out. I'm like, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I remember I was like pulling back on my, I don't remember, I'm pretty sure my grandpa's hand or whatever. I was like, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. Of course, I mean, at this point, I was like, I don't even know how old I would have been when we did this Colorado trip. I don't know. Like single digits somewhere. I don't know. But of course, I mean, this is back in the day, I guess. People could trust people a little bit more. I don't know. I feel like people are trustworthy, still trustworthy, but people just, I don't know. They just have such a negative view of the world. I mean, I know a lot of shit happens, but it's not all bad, I guess. But because my grandparents actually left me. They went down the thing, and they left me with one of the employees. One of the employees had to babysit me, but she got me a free cookie. So that was kind of exciting. It's like, ooh, free cookie. It was some sweet old lady, I don't know, just watching me while my grandparents and my sister went down whatever the thing was. I don't know. It was I want to say it was some kind of tram thing or something. Or maybe it was just like a ski lift that went down the hill. I don't know. I was scared of it, whatever it was. And I didn't want to go. I didn't want to do it. And I didn't have to. I guess I got left at the top of the hill with some sweet old lady. And free cookies. A free cookie. So I guess that was an overreaction. I guess you could say. Maybe. But, yeah. I guess there was the one time where, I talked about this recently with, when I moved down here originally and I lived in one of the apartments over in the other side, I wanted to move to Warrensburg or whatever, and, I kept going back home, or back to Mom's house, because I didn't have a job down here yet. So for that summer, I mean, I was going home and I was helping my uncle, doing yard work, doing odd jobs, whatever, doing for my Aunt Mala, whatever, to make whatever money I could make, and I wasn't like really wanting to do that. I was like, I got an apartment in Warrensburg so that I could stay in Warrensburg, like, instead of like, getting pulled back to my hometown all the time or whatever, and because it's like I would be down here 2 days a week or something, and then Mom would come pick me up and take me down to Hardin and do all the odd jobs, whatever, and then I'd come back down here for like a couple days and then right back to Hardin. And it's like, I felt like I was never here, even though it's like I'm paying rent. Like, it's like, so once again, it was kind of one of those things I was trying to ignore it, but it was showing in my resting bitch face, I guess. And, Mom came down to pick me up that day, whatever. And, I wasn't being very talkative. I was kind of pissed off about, going back down there again, and it's like, again. And for some reason that was a day my sister was here, because we went to Sedalia, and I was just like mean mugging the whole day and like, pouty and whatever. And like I was just like trying to get through the day kind of thing. Like, whatever. It's like, um, something's going on. So like, mom was trying to talk to me and I wasn't really like talking back, blah blah blah. And then I remember, she stopped me. She was like, Tracy, go on to the next store, whatever, blah 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 blah. And she stopped me like in the, on the sidewalk, and she's like, what's going on? What's wrong? And I was like, no, nothing, like. And she was like, no, talk to me, blah blah blah, whatever, blah blah blah. And it's like, it's kind of one of those things where it's kind of like, you know, I didn't want to hurt her feelings either. Once again, so I was like, I just because it didn't have anything to do with her personally. Like I didn't want her to take it personally or anything, kind of like that. It's like, let's just go do this thing and get it over with and whatever, blah blah blah. Go back, be back in Warrensburg for a couple days, at least until time to come back, because it was during the summer in between, like classes were going to start back up in the fall, whatever. So it was just kind of a summer thing. I didn't have a job for the summer. So I was going back to Hardin a lot because it was like, that was, my family was giving me money for doing odd jobs and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't know, I don't know that it was enough to pay rent, but, not like finding an actual job down here that I could, make a paycheck at, whatever. I don't, maybe it had something to do with like trying to grow up, and maybe I was finally trying to grow up. I mean, not actually grow up. You've met me, maybe, but like, so mom like had me stopped in the middle of the sidewalk, and she's like, "What's going on?" I'm just like, "I'm just sick of getting pulled back to Hardin all the time." I just kind of like blurted it out, and it's kind of like. And then I remember, like, we went to eat somewhere, and it was like I was just sitting there, like, staring at the tape, because, I didn't have, phones weren't smart enough at the time for me to just kind of play on my phone and, ignore everyone. But, so I was just sitting there, like, with my arms crossed, like, looking down at the table the whole time, So, I mean, I was being a pouty bitch, about it. And then they ended up dropping me off back here, and Mom and I hugged before she left, like, I mean, I didn't want her to think it was anything about her, but it's kind of like, but I don't remember exactly how the rest of the summer went, but I never found a job, so, and then school started back up, and I got started at the computer lab again, so, I didn't need to have money, whatever, because, I mean, well, my job was with the campus, but, so that was, that was one, that it was like, overreaction, I guess, and instead of, kind of like with my internet friend, instead of being honest and hurting someone with the truth, I just tried to ignore it, and, I didn't know how to handle it, so I handled it badly. I've done that a few times now, so it happens, I guess. But so that would be, an overreaction, because it's I let it build up and build up and build up instead of I mean, usually I'm better at hiding my feelings than that. So I mean, maybe I'm older. I've matured. I don't know, matured. But so that's a few overreactions that I can think of. Because, like I said, it's like, I mean, of course, if Mom had never asked me the question, if she just let me be a mean mugging bitch the whole day and just never asked what was wrong, or never forced me to, be honest, never would have happened. So, I would have just, like, taken it on the chin again and just, go back to Hardin, even though I didn't really want to, But that's a long time in the past. So, So that's a few overreactions that I can think of over time. But that one would have been in my early to mid-20s. So I don't know when the Tiffany one happened. Maybe mid to early 30s? I don't know, maybe 10 years ago-ish? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, there's a few examples for you. So I was trying to dig deep, see if I could remember any others. But that's all I got for you today, apparently. But I mean, that's enough, because I feel like I've talked 20 to 30 minutes anyway, as it is. And she's been sleeping the whole time, hasn't she? Lucky. So lucky. I want to sleep all day, and then all night, get up to eat, get some pets, go back to sleep. Like, for realsies. Goddamn. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so those are some stories that, you know, maybe I haven't told before. I don't know, maybe a few of them. I don't know. But those are some of my overreactions. And if I think of any others, I guess it's too late because this video's over. So I'll see you for what I see you.